Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, friends. In this video, we would look at the topic fruiting bodies of the bacteria. And before starting the topic, I would like to differentiate between the simple colonial form and the multicellular organization. In the simple colonial form, there is an aggregation of the cells, there is a collection of the cells, a great number of the cells comes together, and while in the multicellular organization, there is also a great number of the cells which are joined together. And what is the difference between this colonial form and this multicellular form? In the colonial form, a large number of the cells come joined together, but each of the cell is performing its own function, while in the multicellular organization, there is a division of the labor. There is a property, means each of the cell perform a coordinated function, they coordinate with each other, while in the colonial form they do not coordinate each other, and each of the cell is performing its own function for its own needs. And in the today we would look at the topic fruiting bodies. When the bacteria are about to starve of the amino acid, when the bacteria are about to death with the lack of the amino acid, mean bacteria are starving of the amino acid, then they migrate towards each other, and they also form a very complex morphological form. This complex morphological form of the bacteria is called the fruiting bodies. When the bacteria are about to starve of the amino acid, when the bacteria are about to die of the lack of the amino acid, they migrate towards each other and form a very complex morphological form. This complex morphological form of the bacteria is called fruiting bodies, and these fruiting bodies can range in length from up to the 500 micrometer. Fruiting bodies, the collection, the complex morphological form of the bacteria which are about to starve of the amino acid, joined together, migrated towards each other, can range in length up to the 500 micrometer, and this complex morphological form can about have a 1 lakh bacterial cell, or it can contain about 0.1 million bacterial cell. And what is the common property between these colonial form of the bacteria like fruiting bodies and the simple multicellular organization? In the start we had looked at in the simple colonial form, there is no property of the coordination, there is no property of division of the labor, there is no property like division of coordination, division of task, while in the multicellular organization there is also a large collection of the cells, but the property in these cells is the coordination, is the division of the labor, is the division of the function. And same in the fruiting bodies is the colonial form of the bacteria, but they are related to the simple multicellular organization. How these are related to the simple multicellular organization? In the fruiting bodies, in the complex morphological form of the bacteria which are joined together because of the starve of the amino acid, they are about to die with the lack of the amino acid. In these cells, about one of the 10th cells, mean one of the 10 cells come to the surface and change the state and comes to a dormant state. How the fruiting bodies, how the complex morphological form of the bacteria which are about to starve of the amino acid relate to the simple multicellular organization, because they relates with the simple multicellular organization with the property in these fruiting bodies. About one of the 10 cells, means in the 10 cells, one cells come to the surface and change its state to a dormant state. This dormant state of the bacteria is the myxospore, and this myxospore is resistant to the drying, means and they coordinate with, normally in the fruiting bodies, in the colonial form, each of the cell is performing its own function, while sometimes in the condition they are starving of the amino acid, one of the 10 cells come to the surface and change its states to a dormant state, and this dormant state of the bacteria is called myxospore. This myxospore is resistant to the drying, and because of the presence of the myxospore on the surface of these colonial form, on the surface of the fruiting bodies, these fruiting bodies helps to face the bacteria adverse environmental conditions. In this video we had talked about the fruiting bodies of the bacteria, which are the collection of the which is the colonial form of the bacteria which which is the large collection of the bacteria which are about to starve of the amino acid. They migrate towards each other, form a complex morphological form. This complex morphological form range in length up to the 500 micrometer, and this complex morphology form contains about 1 lakh bacterial cells, and each of the cell perform its own function, but sometimes it relates to a simple multicellular organization. How it relates to a simple multicellular organization? And in these fruiting bodies, in these about which is the fruiting bodies, which is about the 1 lakh bacterial cells, each in each one of the 10 cells, in the 10 cells, each one cell comes to the surface and change its state to a dormant state. This dormant state of the bacteria is called a myxospore, and this myxospore is resistant to the drying, and this property of the myxospore which they have formed with the coordination of the each other helps the fruiting bodies to face the adverse environmental condition. For now, we just looked at the topic fruiting bodies. In the next video, I would like to have any other topic for you. For now, Allah Hafiz.